So this is just me blogging about my life and going through the process and the motions of the ups and the downs. Not everything's sunshine and roses in my life, and I'm not always just this bubbly human being. There's depth to my soul, and there's hurt and pain sometimes, and that's just life. So I share it because that is a beautiful thing to do. Namaste. Maybe
Are
hopefully.
you parked at the beach?
Yeah,
No.
I'm in the harbor. Not the harbor area. The what's it called? The pier area.
Oh, wow, where the pier is.
Yes, this time.
Oh, that's nice.
I like to switch it up.
Oh, so your week's been okay?
Yeah, I'm emotionally. I've okay. So I've come to this conclusion.
Okay.
I need to talk about everything that I'm feeling because I've noticed that instead of letting it out, I've been eating my feelings.
Oh.
Yeah, I ate my feelings instead of talking about them. So I've gained 6 pounds, and me being as petite as I am, it's very noticeable. So I'm like freaking out about that, and I'm like, okay, enough with the just
your feelings.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like I'm sitting there with a tub of ice cream just like eating it all. No, it's with my hormonal condition, just me making the choice of not being a conscious eater can just send me that way. So yeah, in the last like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever, I've gained 6 pounds, and I'm like, no, enough. I need to like really talk about it, all of it, and put it out there.
Yeah.
Into the universe.
How are you? I mean, what are your feelings?
I think in the last 2 weeks, I've had like an up and down kind of roller coaster thing going on when it comes to that whole situation with Chris. And I was upset at myself. So it's multifaceted. So lately at work, we've been doing mental health webinars for our Spanish speaking community. So we've been going through a lot of different webinars on mental health. And so one of the things that I realized that applies to me is that and it spoke to me. So I was writing it all down when I was listening to it. Oh, it was the fact that the lady mentioned that grief isn't linear. It's, you know, there are some days when you're okay, and there are some days when you're not. And so she gave a few examples, and I thought, you know what? Because I was upset at myself. I was upset at myself that I was still, there are some days where I was feeling really down about the situation, and, you know, kind of like teary-eyed, but suppressing it. And, you know, and I was angry at me. So when I heard her say that, I thought, you know what? I need to not be angry at myself, and just be okay with the emotions however they come.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
that was really helpful for me to hear. And so yeah, I've had moments where I was angry at myself. I had moments where I was just sad about the whole situation. And so yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth with that, and other moments where I'm like, it is what it is.
Moments when what?
Where I'm okay with it. It is what it is, and I'm just moving on from it. But yeah, it just depends on. It's still weird for me to think about that happened to me, you know, and it's the days where I'm sad. It makes me feel as though I once upon a time knew this guy, and I feel like he passed away, kind of thing. Like I'm mourning someone who passed away because he was there in my life. I had access to that relationship, and then all of a sudden, like without me being able to say goodbye or put it to rest or anything, he was gone, you know? So
right, no goodbye, no closure,
no nothing. And it's just like, yeah, to me it feels like he passed away, kind of thing. So
would it be helpful to pen a letter to him, whether you sent it or not, or just actually go through the motion of writing it out and
am a writer.
you know,
I mean, I sent him
it out.
so many text messages back then, and they weren't very nice. A lot of them, but yeah, I think writing some stuff down now that I'm not in shock and anger would be really
Well,
helpful.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, there's probably still some shock and some anger.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it's all,
There
like you
is.
said, you kind of stuffing with food and stuffing those emotions.
Yeah.
Emotional eating.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware of myself, I'm like, I'm not an emotional eater, but yeah, I caught myself. I'm like, no, I am emotionally eating because I'm making choices that I don't typically make, like, and I'm saying, I don't care. When I do care. I'm just, right now I'm feeling kind of numb about things.
Yeah. Well, that's, this was supposed to be your life partner. I mean, this was going to be your family, a father to your son. I mean, it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
It wasn't just some guy you were like chatting with online. I
Right.
mean, you guys have had a pretty long history.
Right.
From when it first started out, just chatting and being friends.
Yeah, just being friends to last year. So true.
Yeah, that's something that you mentioned, with me over time, is just that, you and he were good friends.
Right.
And you guys could talk about things and talk for hours, and, it's a big loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Is he said Dada anymore, or is he kind of moving past that?
He's moved past it, but he did say it one more time, and when he said it, I was mindful of that because of the first time. So when he said it, he was playing with a fake phone that he has. It's actually a remote, but he uses it as a phone.
Yeah.
And he was pushing buttons, and then I don't know, he said Dada very clearly, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. I'm just gonna just redirect him to something else, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of a sting, like, ow, let's.
Oh, especially since he's not saying mama yet.
You know what? He finally is. Yay!
Oh, yeah.
He is.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
it's so nice to hear him say mama. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I'm just, it feels nice.
Yeah, that's a big milestone, you know what I mean? It feels
Yeah.
so good as a parent when, your first baby, second baby, whatever, when, they start saying mama or, whatever, dada, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's me. I'm not just your nanny.
I'm not the maid.
Yeah. I had an incident with him. I'll come back to the Chris thing, but I had an incident with baby yesterday that made me realize how insane it is to live with a Taurus.
Oh.
So I didn't think about it yesterday when it was happening. It was early morning. I'm getting dressed for work. We're doing our routine. And he loves to, I introduce him to Eggos, like chocolate chip Eggos.
Oh.
And it helps me in the morning because I usually give him eggs and veggie sausage for breakfast.
Yeah.
Although he eats at daycare for breakfast, but I like to know that my son had breakfast. So, but it's easier for me to pop in an Eggo, and as I'm getting his lunch ready and everything, he's eating that. And so yesterday morning, I noticed he hasn't been signing much lately. So I'm like, I don't want him to regress to just grunting. I want him to sign. So I tried to encourage him yesterday morning. Do you want an Eggo? And he was grunting. I'm like, sign. You can say yes. You can say see. You can sign. You can sign more, or eat. And so I knew it. Just the little sound that he made, I knew he was not in the mood to hear me give him options or tell him that he had to do something in order to earn the ego.
Yeah.
And so I tried to like not even acknowledge that I caught that, because if had I done that, then he goes with that, right? So
yeah.
I'm like, so sign, you know, just trying to get him to sign. We sat there because I eventually had to put everything down and I go, okay, I need to address this. I went and sat right in front of him, eye level. We sat there for 20 minutes out of we have like a 40-minute span between, is it 40 minutes? Yeah, 40 minutes span between arriving to the kitchen and leaving out the door. 20 minutes sitting there with him, trying to get him just to sign with his hands for more.
Oh my God.
He screamed, he cried, he would close his eyes and look away and scream some more, giant tears coming down his face. At one point, I had the Eggo in my hand and he wanted it, and I said, you have to ask for it. If you want it, sign more. And I would take his hand sometimes and go, you sign more. And I would show him, right? Hand over hand. No, this child would not. He wanted the Eggo so bad, but for the life of him, he was not about to sign more for me.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I'm sitting there looking at him going, he has this trauma look on his face, like, how dare you not give me the Eggo? I want that Eggo, and you're making me do something I'm not going to do. He's got that face of sadness of like, oh, my life is over. And I'm sure my face looked like, I cannot believe this child is so stubborn like this. What is going on with him? And so I get to my daycare person and I'm telling her the situation because I was so stressed out. When I took him to the car, I actually took the Eggo with me, sat him in this chair, buckled him in, and I said, do you want this Eggo? Would you like this Eggo? And he reached for it and I said, you gotta sign first. And he screamed bloody murder and cried. And I said, okay, you know what? Forget it. We're not doing this anymore because now our neighbors are going to think I'm killing you or something. I'm torturing you over here. And so we're leaving. We're going to be late. Everything that I had to do afterwards, like I had to rush it because I spent that time trying to get him to sign for me. I get to my daycare lady. I tell her what happened because I'm so stressed out. And she looks at me and she's like, you don't argue with a Taurus. She says,
oh my God.
I realized something. She's a Taurus. Her ex-husband's a Taurus. My son's a Taurus. And who else was a Taurus? Who else was a Taurus? Chris is a Taurus.
Oh.
And so that's the first thing she says. She's like, no, we are so pig-headed. She's like, even if I want to do something and someone else tells me not to do it, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to do it.
God.
And even if I didn't want to do something, I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? I'm thinking, okay. So I laughed a little bit, felt better. I went to work. I'm in my office. I opened my purse to get my phones out, and the Eggo flies out of there. And my coworker's like, you need to eat that outside, because we started a pack, right, to be more mindful about drinking 8 glasses of water before we leave work together. Making sure that we don't bring any candy or sugar into the office. Like, we're trying to be mindful about that stuff. So she's like, you need to eat that outside because we're not supposed to bring sugar in here. And I said, and I gave her the story of what happened, right? And the first thing that comes out of her mouth, she looks at me serious and says, you don't argue with a Taurus.
Oh my God.
I'm like, is it just me? I didn't even know about Tauruses, but no. And she says she has a niece that is a Taurus, and she said that child could be spanked in the middle of spanking to get her to comply to something, and she would just stand there stoically with tears coming down her eyes, stand there stoically, not complying because she's just not gonna do it. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And I'm thinking, that Why be, I mean, I feel it's like a foolish behavior to be so stubborn, you know? My son's gonna suffer if he's just being foolish like that, just out of principle. I mean, he didn't get an ego because he just out of principle would not sign more.
They're going to have to accommodate, I mean, adapt to, you know, follow the rules.
Right. Follow rules and just, I mean, not everything is going to go their way. They have to be more adaptable.
Yes.
So I'm a little concerned for my son. I'm not gonna be too concerned about it, but I'm a little concerned that, you know, I feel like it's foolish to be so stubborn that you miss out on opportunities, or I don't know, just miss out on things because of your belief system. I'm not gonna change it. I mean, we Leos, we're stubborn too, but I feel like Leos, we are. It's part of, like, if you look up Leo, it says one of the things is stubbornness. But I feel like we usually are stubborn for a cause, you know. And but if you change my mind on it, like, I'm flexible. I'm not like, no, the sky is purple and I said it's purple and I don't care what you show me. I think it's purple. The end. You know, we're not like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That's something. I didn't know that about Taurus either.
No, and so I looked at my coworker and I said, you know what? This is so overwhelming. I almost ended up in a relationship with someone who was a Taurus as well. I'm like, is this what I would have to look forward to? That's insane. That's insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. How weird and you know, ironic.
Yeah, and you know what? I do remember Chris telling me that he's a Taurus and he is very stubborn, and he did tell me he wasn't unmovable, but when he was like hard-headed and like cemented in his thoughts, and it's like, how does that even work in life?
In life. Yeah.
When just the fact of dating someone requires you to be flexible and compromising and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So he didn't get his ego, but then he could eat breakfast when he got to daycare.
He ate breakfast. Yeah, he did. He ate good breakfast when he got to daycare. So at least that happened. It just made me uncomfortable that he didn't have anything in his tummy when I took him to daycare, especially because the morning, that's when I can get my son to eat and the best. And so him not having anything in his tummy made me uncomfortable, but I was just like, I had it. That was a rough morning.
Oh, I bet. Just like a duel, you know?
Yeah, like a Western standoff, you know?
Oh my God.
God, this is insane.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, serious. So going back to the whole Chris thing, I had to tell you that story about it was just crazy. I'm so, what's the word? Well, I'll just tell you what I'm feeling, like what it is, my thought process on it. I'm not exactly sure what I am. I'm not sure if I'm sad or kind of angry or something, but I was asking myself, why is it affecting you so much if you didn't even have a physical, like, in-person relationship with this man? You know, there was just someone I never met. But I emotionally connect with people. Like, I feel like I don't know, I just feel like I feel some people, and some people like him. When I met him, it was I felt something, you know, and I don't know what it was, but I felt it even from his picture before we started talking. I felt something. And so I felt like there was something special between us. I don't even know if it was only on my side, or if he really felt it, or if he pretended to. I don't even know if I know this guy like I thought I did.
Yeah.
But it affected me because I felt like we were connected. I felt like we were good for each other. You know, we vibed, you know, and so I noticed something when I was dating Chris. Now that I think about it, I realized that after I dated Michael, the Canadian, after I dated him, I didn't think that I could feel a certain way that I felt with Michael with anybody else. And for years, yeah, I dated a few people in between Michael and Chris. I dated a few people. Some of them like 2 years or less or something. But I mean, there was time invested there. And I didn't feel anything for these people like I felt for Michael. And I was kind of comparing that, you know, to like, no, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like this. So I don't know if that's healthy, probably not. But they didn't inspire me that way. And so when I met Chris, I didn't necessarily think, oh, I'm feeling in a certain way. But he caught my attention, and on an energetic level, I don't know. On a spiritual level, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I started feeling things that I had only felt with Michael. And so that was a really exciting relationship for me because I didn't think I could feel like that again. You know, I thought maybe that's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And and I hadn't realized until recently that Michael triggered a memory for me. And when he said it, I thought, holy crap, that's what was happening with Chris. So when Chris and I would get on webcam and just talk for hours or whatever, I couldn't sit still. Like, I had so much energy. I was excited to talk to him. And so I kept kicking my legs. And I remember telling him at one point or another, I can't stop kicking my legs. And so I remember Michael used to say, oh, you're kicking your girly legs again. You know, and that's how Michael made me feel. Like, I was so happy to be with him, and like the energy was so overwhelming that I would kick my legs. I couldn't stand still. And so I started feeling that with Chris. So I was thinking to myself, you know, I might not have ever met this person in person, but it was a feeling, you know, that it was intense. The feeling that I felt for him was intense, and I had deep feelings for him. It's just such a shame for things to have been tossed away like that, you know, just when I felt so deeply for this person already.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's awful. I mean, I'm guessing there's part of you that would like to know more of what even happened. But the likelihood of that seems minimal, at least now.
Yeah.
And maybe down the road you'll reach out, or I don't know, or if you'd even want to respond, or.
You know, yesterday I was out with a girlfriend. We were doing some work related stuff, and my phone rang, and I looked at it, and it said Michigan. And I deleted all his numbers and everything, so I don't have any access to him, contact, because I need to do that. And so I don't remember what his number is, but I know that it didn't start with the numbers that number said. But my girlfriend saw it, and she's like, don't do it, girl. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's him anyway, but still, it said Michigan in my brain. Her brain, obviously, too, thought Chris, you know? And so, no, I didn't answer, and no one left a message. So, I wondered, you know?
Yeah, I mean, did you have a feeling?
No.
Like it might be him, or?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I feel like I feel like I know Chris, and I feel like he's so stubborn that just out of principle, whatever principle he has going on, whatever made him decide to do this, he's not going to reach out to me. And maybe he's just not brave enough to, or he just didn't care, you know, like I did. I don't know. So,
well, you and he had, you and he, talk and talk. And,
Yeah.
We're having, dates and stuff. I mean,
Yeah. I really do feel like he loved me. I really do feel that.
Yeah. It seemed pretty real to you.
Yeah.
You know.
It was in his eyes and his smile and just, the things that he would say, and just, I really do feel like he had feelings for me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do miss him.
Kind of a mystery.
Yeah. It's shitty.
I know you had reached out to him kind of one last time, or sent him a text saying you hope he was doing okay or something.
I'm worried about him in this kind of situation. That was one thing that I was upset about. I'm like, why are you worrying about him? He doesn't give a shit about you guys,
Yeah.
I wonder if he's okay, like, in this kind of situation. I know he can't be working. So.
Oh, well, that's right, with the work he does.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. Just those thoughts enter my mind, but I have to just move on from that, I don't have an option. I'm just going through the motions right now and allowing them to be instead of judging them, just being mindful of them, I guess.
Yeah. And, even though it never was an in-person relationship, I mean, people develop, feelings and love and close relationships without and before ever meeting each other.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And not that you are discounting it, but I mean, some people might be like, oh, what's the problem? You never met him or something. But,
right. And I've had moments like that where someone will say that, just get over him, whatever, he's a jerk, you never met him, just be glad he didn't waste your time. But I'm not like that. And then there's a Dominican guy in town that I happened to meet through a while back, and now I met in person, and he's into me. And it's funny that he's here in Crescent City, because sometime last year when I was single, I told the universe, send me a Dominican. And then I laughed at myself, because I'm like, where in Crescent City will I ever meet a Dominican? And then bam. What was that?
You've met a Dominican guy here in town?
Yes, here in town. Yeah, he moved here to Crescent City recently, like late last year. And so when I met him, I was like, I should have asked for $1 million or something. So he's a nice guy. We actually, you remember the 2 times that I went out with my girlfriends, and a few months back we went out one time, and then recently we went out again. Both times I've seen him. We've met at the bar that we go to, and he seems like a nice guy, and we did a little talking, but I'm not interested. My heart is nowhere near ready to accept anyone else, even in a flirty kind of way or anything. I'm so not interested in him. Yeah, and my girlfriends are like, come on, he's obviously interested. He wants to talk to you. He finds you intriguing. And I was like, you know what? The most that I'm going to do is leave him on my Facebook, because that weeds out I like to call them the Republicans. They take a look at my content on Facebook and go, whoa, she's crazy. Never mind. And so, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What are you going to ask?
Have you guys exchanged phone numbers or anything?
No, I haven't given him my phone number. But, I mean, he has access to me on Facebook, so... I noticed he's liking some of my pictures. He's liking some of my content. And I realized that he's starting to like some of my spiritual content. And I'm like, well, that's nice. Okay, He's passing some of my silent tests.
Does he have a Facebook that you look at?
Yeah, he does.
Oh. And do you like some of his stuff?
He's cute, but he's like a DJ, and I'm not necessarily interested in him. I think he might be like mid-30s and kind of juvenile, and you know, he's just living his life and he's enjoying his life, and good on him, but I'm not really interested in him, I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking for someone a little bit more settled, you know, just a little bit more grounded.
Yeah.
So he sent me a message the other day. It must have been like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. I got it the next day, and he wanted to talk to me, and he said something about, I don't know, he said, what did he say? Let me translate it because it was in Spanish. His English is kind of broken, so I said, you know what, you can talk to me in Spanish, I understand it. So he said something about he's never gravitated towards like spiritual posts or something, but he feels like something inside of him is changing. And I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah. So I'm like, well, good on you. I didn't reply to that, but I thought to myself, well, good on you if it's real. And if it's not, you're just trying to appeal to obviously something you see that I'm interested in. And either way, I'm not giving you my number. Yeah.
Well, might just turn out to be a friend, or not. Maybe who knows?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I miss Chris, and it's just like I'm not ready to move on yet from that feeling, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal. That's what I was going to say. You know what I mean? The researchers, they say that it takes half as long as the relationship was to fully process it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I mean, not that you can't start dating let's just say you and Chris had a 2-year relationship, take a year to fully process. Doesn't mean you can't date, but I mean for folks that have been together 10 years or something, however long, it does take a while just to process through that.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm definitely a person who likes to, I can't just move on. I can't. I tried to do that when I broke up with Michael, and it didn't work out for me at all, because I ended up dating someone that was completely the opposite of Michael, and I hated that relationship. I was just hating every moment of it. And funny enough, we're good friends now, but dating was a disaster. Yeah. And I just tried to bury my feelings and move on, and I hated that because I'm not like that. I tried to do that in December too. I buried my feelings and just do something.
You're cutting out just a little bit. What was that?
Oh, I said that I tried to bury my feelings and move on, and I'm not like that, so I hated that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that this time. I want to just kind of go through the process and not judge it like I was doing, and then when I'm ready, then who knows?
Yeah. Absolutely. You've got, you got a busy life as it is. Your work. Take care of that. You guys.
I really wish things would have been different, though. Like, I don't know. I know so many women, and I've been there with other friends of mine that have gone through things, but I don't know anybody who can sit there and tell me that they've had this amount of tragedy when it comes to relationships. And I'm thinking, why the hell is this happening in my life? Why are these men so, what would be the word? Why are they so willing to, why are they so broken? Or I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know when I first started meeting with you, you were saying as far as, Kevin, Dad, you were like, kind of at a point where, well, I'll try something I haven't tried,
Yeah, yeah.
And
that backfired.
And Chris, I mean, that's hard to make sense of it because you and he, I don't know, it seems like for 2.5 years or something before you kind of started distance dating, you guys were just friends.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed that friendship.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if he's just completely disordered and this is just what he does. He just messes with people. I mean, there are people that get off on that. I mean, just, you know what I mean?
I don't think Chris is like that. I don't know.
Or maybe he's had some kind of, relationship trauma of his own and he hasn't processed it. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, what would your guess be?
I think men are really, really stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe he felt like he was backed up into a corner and he decided to take some really, really shitty, he decided to make this really shitty decision instead of talking to me about things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't process it because I'm so confused.
Yeah. Well, that's why, maybe sometimes he's asleep or something, just sit down for 30 or 40 minutes, just free ride, or either just do a free riding or do a focused riding and just see if that brings up something, because if you just, if you make it, I'm not like, right, if you sit and just think about it, but just, free, where you just keep riding, even if you can't think of something to ride.
Yeah.
Then you just now, I can't think of something you write down, I can't think of anything. But, if you keep making yourself right, you'd be surprised sometimes at what comes up.
Cool. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, and set a time limit, say, whatever it is, 10, 20, 30, whatever, 18 minutes, whatever.
Okay.
I'm going to write for this long and set your timer on your phone and you have to keep writing the whole time, even if you're just writing, I don't know what to say now.
Okay.
Yeah, try that. Maybe back at work, I noticed it's 1 o'clock.
Yes, I'm actually about to arrive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad we had a better connection this week.
Thank you. I'm glad you feel better. No, it's okay. I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah. All right, Kat. Well, we'll plan on the same time next week.
Okay. Talk to you then.
Right. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Shake it off, cat. Time to get to work. I am thankful and I am grateful for the ability to express my feelings to a professional. What are you trying to play on me? Someone that understands, someone that's been there through some of the things that I've been through. I am grateful and I am thankful I have that opportunity. I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I had the wisdom to reach out to a professional years ago when I felt like I needed someone to talk to and not let my own fears or doubts or whatever, or just way I was raised to get in the way of seeking help. So I'm very thankful for that, and it really helps to cry it out. It really helps to talk it out. It really helps to speak to somebody, and that's not a friend, a professional that can give you input, like writing things down. I think maybe video blogging for me is kind of the equivalent, but I am gonna try the writing. I love writing anyway. So Time to get to work.